सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम बोलो स्वामी सद्गुरु शिवानंद महाराज की जय। ओम बोलो स्वामी विष्णु देवानंद महाराज की जय। हरि ओम तत्सत। ओम नमः शिवाय। Good evening. So far we have seen till slokam number 41. We'll continue from slokam number 42, and slokam 42 and 43 are taken together here. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantyavipaschitaha vedavadaratav partha nanyadastiti vadinaha कामात्मानस्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति. Those who have with limited understanding following the rituals of the Vedas, this sloka is addressed, these two slokas addressed towards those people who have with limited understanding doing the Veda rituals. Yamam pushpitam vacham. Vacham means word. Pushpitam means flowery words. With avipaschitaha, with those limited understanding. The Veda Vadaratha, all these flowery words of Vedas, if you are looking at with the limited understanding, then you will never be able to realize the truth. Okay? So he is telling these rituals are for people who think that Swarga is the heaven and that is the best, or those who are thinking that, desirous of, those who are desirous of the sensual pleasures. I want this, I want that. Kama atmanaha, the sensual pleasures. These portions of Karma Kanda's flowery words are for these people who describe the rituals with the end of each ritual describing the glory of performing such rituals. You will get this, you will get that. And those rituals are, those yajnas are performed, those actions that are performed for getting that result. That pushpitam vacham vedavata ratha, attached to the flowery words of those Vedas. They think if they perform this yajna or this ritual, I will get this bhoga, this gratification, this kriya visheshaha, this karya siddhi, I will get this fruitful of this action, and aishwarya, I will get luxury, I will get gatim, progress. In Janma Karma Phala, I will get the higher birth and the best results. Prasad, I will get the awarding. These people who are thinking all these flowery words are the results of those yajna, or the results of those Karma Kandas rituals, then they can never see the Aishwarya, they can never see the truth. And these are mentioned in the Karma Kanda Vedas for people who are meant to attain those pleasures, those Kama Atmanaha, to get that pleasures. Slokam number 44. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. Samadhau na vidhiyate. Samadhau here means it is not samadhi. It is that buddhi in the sama state without dualities. Vidhiyate. If that doesn't happen, for those kind of people, the samadhi, this getting rid of this freedom from this dualities is very hard. So when you always do a ritual, what they think? They are doing it for a desired result. If we can take some example, suppose we are performing an event at our home. When we perform an event at our home, what do we think? This event have to be the best. People who come for this event, they all should wonder how these people have conducted the event. They all should be awestruck, and the food have to be the best. Everybody have to enjoy the best food, and they all should say that this event's food is the best, and this event have to become the talk of the town. Everybody should praise this event. So why are you conducting this event? For that result. So all the time when you do this, when you are preparing or when you are conducting this event, you are always constantly thinking about that gratification, that bhoga, that aishwarya, that luxury. I want this gratification have to come to me. Deeply attached to bhoga aishwarya prashaktanam, always deeply attached to that bhoga and aishwarya. So everyone must compliment for me for doing this action. If in an organization, if somebody is making you responsible to conduct that event, you should always think, you are always thinking that my boss should appreciate me, all these colleagues have to appreciate me, I should get promotion, I should get increment. Always constantly thinking about the desired result. Vyavasatmika buddhi, the buddhi, the intellect of that individual is always engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, the day and night in the pursuit of pleasure. For that kind of person, taya aprihata chetasam, that mind is looted away by these pursuits. That mind's peace and tranquility is broken. Such an individual cannot achieve sama buddhi, equal mind. They cannot get rid of the dualities. The mind is all this, people who are constantly thinking about the result and doing the action, their mind will always be agitated and they can never be at peace. Slogam number 45. Traigunya vishaya veda nistraigunyo bhavarjuna nirdvandvo nityasatvasto niryogakshema atmavan. Krishna is bringing a beautiful two direction here. Yoga Kshemam. 98% of the people on the earth, they all get directed with this Yoga Kshemam. That's a style of living. That has become the style of living in the modern trend. But actually, why do we go to the temple? We go to the temple nowadays. We go to the temple, or we go to the mosque, or we go to the church, or we go to the temple, thinking what to get. Oh, I have come here, Lord, give me this. I have come here, give me this pleasure. I have come here, you need to give me this power. I want this chair. I want to get promoted. God, I have come here, now my boss have to give me increment. I have come here so that I should get this project. I have come here so that my business have to prosper. We always go to the temple with two direction, yoga and kshema. So you always want God to support your intentions. Always it is for Traigunya Vishaya. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. All these ritual portions of these Vedas are belonging to the Trigunas. So they are meant for people who have that misunderstanding, okay, which are always expressed in terms of desires. The rituals that are performed in this way, the benefits are also announced. You do this kind of homa, this will get you will get this prosperity. You do this kind of ritual, you get this prosperity. And the same way, you do this action, you get this result. So the vasanas that can be good or bad, but you need to cleanse your mind, Arjuna. Nistraigunyo bhava. You should get rid of that Traigunya bhava. You should get above all these vasanas. And when will that happen? Only when your mental attention is always towards inward, not towards outward. Okay? And such people who perform these rituals only for the outward, they cannot get into the spiritual field. They will always be in a agitated mode, and they cannot get into the meditative mode, or they cannot get into the spiritual field. So you should first cleanse yourself and remove these vasanas. It could be any scriptures. It could be Upanishads, it could be Bible, it could be Quran or Brahmapada of Buddhists. Whatever it is, you can always find they suggest you, they recommend you to pray with pure heart. What is pure heart? Peaceful and serene mind is pure heart. When will you get that peaceful mind? When your mind is not agitated, or when your mind is not anxious, and when your mind is not worried. And when will this agitation and worry and this anxious mind will go away? Only when you cleanse your mind. How do you cleanse your mind? You go beyond this dualities. When it is we can think of that in our day-to-day activities. When you do something wrong, when we do consciously, we know that what we are doing is wrong. Just for that sensual pleasure, we are doing that. And that adharmic action, what is that is bringing you? After that benefit, after enjoying that benefit, when you sit or when you're doing something, you will always be regretting for it. Oh, I should not have done that. Though I have done that, I should have controlled myself. I should not have done that. Your mind is always regretting. That is impure heart. And when you do a noble action, what happens? You can consciously apply this in your and analytically observe yourself. When you do an imperfect action or improper, illegal action, your mind is always in a regrettive mode. The same way, when you do a noble action, immediately your mind is feeling peaceful, you're happy, and sometimes some people, they congratulate themselves for doing it. I did this right thing, so the happiness is coming, happiness is arising. That mind gets little quiet. And when your mind is quiet, that doesn't mean you should run away from your daily duties. Oh, I'm going to quieten my mind. So let me go to Himalayas. I will find a cave. I'll go sit and meditate there. Let my family, let my wife, kids, everybody suffer here. You go. No, that has not been recommended. That you should go to Himalayas and sit in a cave and meditate. Even if you go like that, your mind will always be with the family and you will not be meditating there. So Arjuna, these karma kandas, it is meant for those who have desires. So I would recommend you nirdvantvo nityasatvasto, free from all these dualities. What are the dualities? Pain and pleasure, treat it equally. Success, jaya and ajaya, treat it equally. Failures and success. Sorrow and desire, sukha dukkha. Sorrows and happiness, treat it equally. And when you treat this equally, there is no desire to possess in anything. That time you get this nirdvantvaha, beyond all these tossings of the mind. When you go beyond all these tossings of the mind, then nityavastavasa, you become permanently into sattvic attitude. What is sattvic attitude here? Sattvic attitude means, that doesn't mean that you calm your mind and you sit quiet. No, you need to calm the mind, and the mind have to be alert and vigilant, and that is the sattvic mind. If you are going to have just a calm mind, it is as equal to a dull mind where when you are sleepy also it is a calm mind. It is not that. It should be alert and vigilant. Quiet when you don't have any desires, and the desires don't disturb you. Alert, you mean to be careful any moment that can come and disturb you. When that come and disturb you, you need to be alert. When you are alert, you need to be vigilant. What is vigilant? When such disturbance come, you should immediately destroy them. That kind of quiet, alert, vigilant mind is called sattvic, pure heart. Sattvic, sattvastaha. Niryogakshema. When that comes, you will get rid of this yogakshema. What is this yogakshema? Yoga means, these yogakshema are two technical terms. Yoga means attempting to get things. I am doing this, get me this. I am doing this, give me this. I am doing this, possess this wealth. This is yoga. Kshema is having possessed that. How do I maintain it? Oh, I've got such a big car. How do I maintain this? First, what you are doing? Oh God, I need to get a car. Everybody is going in a car. I'm only going in a small car. I need to get a BMW. I need to get an Audi car. Okay, having God has given you that car. Having got that car, Kshema, you need to protect. You need to maintain that car. So this yoga Kshema are two technical terms, and Krishna is telling when you need to go beyond this yoga and Kshema. Nir yoga Kshemam. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Put everything onto me. Surrender to me completely. I shall look after your yoga and Kshema. In the textbook also, in the scriptures, everything guide you to go beyond this two technical terms, two directions that life is driving us onto. Sloka number 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samluktodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijnanataha. Vijnanataha here means who is in complete knowledge. So Krishna now, he thinks, oh my God, I have told Arjuna that you go beyond this Vedas rituals. Okay, Arjuna is a orthodox person and he believes in Vedas. All along he thought Veda is the supreme, and now I'm asking him to go beyond. He's now behaving like a ordinary average person. He was all along thinking that Veda is the supreme divine. So now Krishna is asking him to go beyond. So Krishna is now explaining him why is he saying that. For example, when we are doing masters in English literature, when we are doing MA in English literature, we will not be writing ABCD daily one page. When we are doing in the childhood, our mother or father or teacher, while teaching us alphabets, they would have asked us to write ABCD to A to Z daily one page. So you would be writing daily one page, A to Z. That doesn't mean that you will be writing this A to Z even after going to masters. That they are teaching you to write because they want you to learn. They want you to go beyond. Once you start coining the words, once you start coining sentences, once you start understanding what they are speaking, and once you start replying in that language, you don't have to write A to Z daily one page. If you are going to say that, no, my teacher asked me to write daily, so even after getting into master's degree, I would be writing that in a daily one page. Does that make sense to you? The same way, Arjuna, once you get into that stage where you are treating everything equally, then these rituals have no meaning. Until such time, these rituals are required for your daily routine. Okay? You need to until first standard, second standard, maybe we will be writing this. But when you get into this master's degree, this doesn't make any meaning. So Krishna says, Vijnanataha, one who has awakened to that stage of Vijnanataha, once you are awakened to that stage of consciousness, then this declaration of Vedas are of no use. Until such time, till you reach that, you need this. For example, when we want to go to certain place, if we don't know how to go, we are using our Google map. We put that search in the Google map, and the Google map says that, take this direction, take left, take right, take a curve and go, and all this. This you need until you reach the destination. Even after you reach the destination, you want to say that, I will be following Google Map, then that doesn't make any sense to you, right? So until you reach that stage, this Vedas and this Veda Vakyas are important. And that will help you to reach that stage of consciousness. Vijnanataha, once you attained that knowledge, then this makes no difference. Then you need to go beyond. Until such time, you need to keep following these rituals. You need to consciously apply all this till that new dimension of consciousness, you are getting into that dimension of consciousness. Until such time, this names, this forms, everything, the sequence of action, not getting into the result, everything is required. Right? Slokam number 47. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetuhu bhuma te sangostva karmani. This particular stanza is a famous stanza, but many a times people slightly misunderstand this particular stanza. There is always sometimes an inferred meaning or a suggestive reference in some slokas. The same way, there is a suggestive meaning here. For example, if somebody says, my house is near the beach, does that mean his house is near the beach? You go to the beach and you see the water. Oh, this person said my house is near the beach. Where is the house? There will be the houses. It's just a referral point. That person would have said, my house is near the beach. It would be few yards away from the beach. The same way, this is a reference, suggestive references here. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Your adhikaram, your right, is only on the duty. Do your duty as best as possible. Na phaleshu, don't expect the results. That doesn't mean that you work for no salary. That doesn't mean that you do business not expecting profit. That doesn't mean you fight for something and you don't expect the reward for it. No, it is not that. When do you decide a result of the action? While doing, do you decide the result of the action, or after doing the work you think of the result of the action, or before performing the action you think of the result? When do we think the result? When do we think the fruit of the action? Not while performing the action. You need to plan well, prepare the sequence, and get into action. Any task, any project, any business, any action have two components. One is planning, second is execution. While planning, you need to think of all the external circumstances. Collect all the data as much as possible. Think all the pros and cons of that action. Decide your sequence. Having decided that sequence, having decided your goal, having decided, planned properly, then get into execution mode. When you get into execution mode, do not think about the result. When you get into that execution mode, you have to fully concentrate on the execution of that sequence with fullest faith, not thinking of the result. When we think of the result, what is going to come tomorrow, then you cannot do your action properly now. It will bring you bahusaka. It will bring you the branches of many branches into your thought. And that will never give you the desired result. The same way, Arjuna, what are you now doing? The result, you are thinking about the result. You have decided very well. You have planned very well how to go and fight. You have created your array. You have decided who should do what. everything is done. You have prepared very well. Your planning is very well. Now is the execution mode. At this execution mode, what are you doing? You are thinking about the result. What is that if they all will die? What is that if I don't get this Varga? What is that if I die? What is the pleasure of the kingdom after losing? This is all the result of the action. These all you should have thought while planning itself. Right? When you get into the execution mode, you should focus on the execution. This is the beauty of the performing at the present moment. So the Krishna says the beauty is how you can integrate your mind and do that action as perfectly as possible. The beauty of the performance of your result will always be successful when you give your 100% today. So Arjuna, your duty is to fulfill that function, that action of today. You should not unnecessarily dissipate your mind in worrying about what is going to happen in the future. That doesn't mean that you should not think about the future. You should think about the future while planning itself. Stage 1 is planning, stage 2 is execution. At stage 2, do not think about stage 1. Just execute what you have planned in stage 1. So this is the beautiful advice that Krishna gives not only to Arjuna, to all the youngsters who are ambitious in achieving great things in life. If you are an ordinary person, then you keep doing the work and always thinking about the future. You become nervous, and that nervousness brings a lot of pressure onto the situation. Then you feel stressful. Then if you are stressful, the present action do not have the entire focus, and you are not integrating your mind. You are getting distracted, and the result is not excellent. So ma karma phala heturbo means may you work at the planning, whatever that you have planned on the stage 1. That doesn't mean in stage 1 itself you should not be thinking about the fruits. At stage 1 you should be thinking about the fruits. Stage 2, it's an execution, and you should execute. So Krishna tells Arjuna not to worry what is going to be the result and choose to run away now. It is time to function, and this time get into action. Uttishta yuddha, you do the yuddha, fight, and do not get back to the results. With this, we'll end today's session, keeping your eyes closed. In chapter 2, Yoga of Knowledge, Krishna is advising Arjuna, who completely surrendered to Krishna, saying, I am your disciple, I am completely surrendering to you, my mind is confused, and suggest me what should I do. Having surrendered, Krishna is advising in various parameters, raising Arjuna to the highest level, raising Arjuna to the highest standpoint of view, and also coming down to Arjuna's level and explaining that how he should get into the action and he should fight. We'll chant Om 3 times together, and the closing prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bolo Swami Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Bolo Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much for joining this class. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock.